Hey guys, Joanne here with Newegg TV. I'm here to do an overview on this Cooler Master Cosmos 2 Ultra Tower computer case. This case has a raised card design, which is pretty sweet, it's very sleek, and the side panels are made of brushed aluminum with steel, and we have some plastic here up at the front. At the top, we have your headphone and microphone jacks, eSATA port, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and 4 USB 2.0 ports. And in this area, we have a pre-installed 200mm LED fan. And if you just grip the bottom here, you'll be able to pop open the front cover. Here is your 200mm. However, you can also, you could remove that and install a 140mm fan here and a 120mm fan just below that. And what I really like is you could just slide this protective cover down and it'll reveal your 3 5¼ inch drive bays. You simply lift this tab here to pop open the cover. And just below that we have your lock 3.5-inch drive hot swap mounts. Open it like this and there we are. On this side, we have a couple large honeycomb vents for ventilation, and there are mounts for 2 120mm fans. At the back, we have a pre-installed 140mm black fan, and there are mounting points for a 120mm fan. Couple grommets for cable threading or threading through your water cooling tubes, and a knockout for your input-output shield for your motherboard, 10 expansion slots, and an extra one in case you used up all of these for your video cards and you wish to have an extra PCI bracket for a USB port or SATA port. And at the bottom we have your power supply mount. What I like about this is if you remove the screws, take off the bracket, install the power supply into the back bracket and slide it in from this direction, as opposed to your standard power supply installation from this side of the case. Finally, on this side we have a couple more large honeycomb vents. Here's a look at the right side of the case. What I love about this side panel is that if you press down on this latch here, you'll be able to open the door up, and it's on a hinge, so you can open it all the way without removing the side panel and be able to take a look inside. And what's great about it is it's very easy to remove. Simply lift, and there we have it. Most of the side panels that I've seen are generally pretty flimsy and thin, and that's what makes this one awesome, because it's thicker, and that means it's more sturdy, reinforced with some plastic here, and there is a dust filter that you can remove by taking off these screws. And now for a look at this side. Here we have a large cutout for an aftermarket heatsink, a lot of grommets, a couple holes, and a generous area at the bottom here for cable routing. Lots of tie-down points for cable management using your zip ties. And this is the business end of your drives. This case is compatible with motherboards from micro ATX all the way up to XL-ATX, SSI, CEB, and EEB, which are server motherboards. Here are your various fan connectors. These are your 3-pin connectors. They're all color-coded, and they have these nifty little labels, so you'll never get confused as to which is what. And these green ones are for your hard drive fans. These blue ones, your GPU fans. Gray ones are for your top and just your top fans. And this brown one is for your front fan. And these little guys are your 2-pin connectors for your LED. And if you connect these all properly, then you'll be able to control your fan, LED, and speed with the control panel at the top of the case. And over here, we have your 2-pin and 3-pin fan connectors for your front fan. Before we look at the interior of the case, here's the side panel, and these are the 2 mounts for the 120mm fans that I talked about earlier. You can also remove the dust filter by taking off these 2 screws. Inside, we have your pre-installed 140mm black fan, and its 3-pin connectors and Molex power plug and pass-through. And this is the pre-installed 120 millimeter top fan with its 3-pin connector. And I like how this case is split into 2 cooling zones so that the fans will be able to more efficiently disperse the heat inside the case. Here are the front panel connectors. This is the Molex plug that if you plug into your power supply, and if all the fan speed controls and LEDs are connected, it should get everything going. And this is the 20-pin USB 3.0 connector that you plug onto your motherboard. USB 2.0 connectors, audio connectors, and this is your reset power and LED connectors, and this is your SATA plug for the eSATA port at the top front of the case. These are your SATA data and power plugs for the 2 hot swap mounts right here. On the right side, we have your 3 5.25-inch drive bays. It's a toolless design, so you just have to push to unlock or lock. And just below that, we have 5 drive mounts for your 3.5-inch or 2.5-inch drives, and they're very easy to open. Just lift this part here and slide it out. There we have it. Below that, we have your 2 120 millimeter fans that will cool, let's open this up, an additional 6 drive mounts. And here's a look at the fans. If you wish to install a radiator, say a 240 millimeter radiator, you'll have to remove these brackets and install it from the other side of the case. You can also remove this bracket here, or you can install a 120 millimeter fan outside of this bracket. At the top of the case, we have another protective cover, and beneath that is your power button, reset button, your hard drive, GPU, front and top fan buttons, as well as LED button. And what is just fantastic about this is it is a razor blade design, very much like the ones on certain cell phones. Pretty neat feature. And the hard drive and GPU and the fan speeds, you'll be able to know which speed it is by the color of the indicator next to it. So from slow to fast is blue to red. Just remember that. And let's close that up. You have to remove this thumb screw if you want to take off this front cover. Inside is a pre-installed 120 millimeter fan. You'll have the option to install 3 120 millimeter fans or 2 140 or 1 200 millimeter fan right here. And you can also install a 240 millimeter radiator by dropping it on the top right here and have a fan configuration on the bottom, or have the radiator below it and have the fans on top, depending on which direction you wish to push the air from. At the bottom of the case, we have this removable dust filter right here for handy cleaning. This is where your power supply sits, and this case is set on these aluminum rails. It's got some rubber padding for reducing vibration, but otherwise great airflow because the bezel here is also raised. Plenty of air can get through there. And I forgot to mention, but of course the top also has these aluminum handrails, and it's great because this is not the lightest case around, and it's just much easier to lug it around using these handlebars. A quick thing I want to mention before I head into the accessories is that this case supports a max GPU length of 15 inches, just so you might want to know. And this is your user guide. This is an 8-pin power cable extension. These are brackets for your radiator installation when you install it at the bottom of your case where the 6 drive mounts are. These are sticky mountable zip ties, regular zip ties, packet of drive screws, motherboard standoffs, and a motherboard standoff sleeve, motherboard speaker, And finally, these are the keys for your hot swap drives at the front of the case. That wraps up our overview on this Cooler Master Cosmos 2 Ultra Tower computer case. I'm Joanne, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our Newegg YouTube channel. Thanks for watching Newegg TV, and we'll see you next time.